Welcome to The Blueprint of a Killer. This series is for you if you've ever wondered why. Not just who did it, but what made it possible. What made it inevitable. If you've ever wanted to take a step inside the mind of a killer, not to excuse it, but to understand the machinery of it, this is where we begin. In every episode, I read the energy. I pull cards. I map the psychic blueprint behind the crimes. And then I feed that reading into artificial intelligence. And I ask, would someone with this exact emotional code do what this killer did? This isn't about sensational stories. It is about soul-level architecture. This is psychological autopsy, a spiritual forensics lab, if you will, an intuitive profile tested by machine logic. Because the truth doesn't hide in the evidence, it hides in the pattern. And once you see it, you'll start recognizing it everywhere. Because some patterns don't just point to the past, they predict the next fracture waiting to be seen. This is more than a reading. It's a reckoning with the part of humanity we lock away. And if you're ready to face it, let's begin. In the fall of 1888, in London's Whitechapel district, 5 women were murdered with surgical precision. Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly were all mutilated, posed in the streets like messages only the killer understood. The press dubbed him Jack the Ripper, a name that grew larger than the man ever was, a myth, a warning, a shadow that never got caught. He was never identified, never tried, never humanized. But what if the answers we seek aren't in his name, but in his pattern? Today we find out. Welcome to episode 1. Jack the Ripper, the birth of the myth, the burial of the man. Today we look inside the pattern and take a psychic profile of Jack the Ripper. Part 1, we are going to be looking at the making, the constructed self. We're going to start with the original wound. I am going to use the wounds decks, but I want to kind of get the basis and foundation of that wound first. So what can we know about Jack the Ripper's original wound? What fractured him early on? His mind. It's interesting that I had the light on and I just had to turn it off because the glare, because it's almost like he felt like his mind was too much. His mind was a burden, not only for himself, but for others. And with the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, there is an element of abandonment here. It's like, no one will commit to me. No one will see me. No one will sit with me and teach me how to fight against my mind and put down that burden, because it feels like it's constantly on fire and it makes me feel like I'm just worthless. So me versus my own mind. Show me who won. Who won in the battle of him versus his own mind was impulsiveness. Impulsiveness won to try and alleviate going down the path of recognizing that I did not like who I was, that I was not confident in who I was. What fractured him early was he felt like he was alone battling his own mind, and that as soon as someone would see his mind, they would view it as a burden and abandon him further. With the Queen of Wands being reversed, it feels like this really stems back to a mother wound. Show me mother wound. Show me his view of his own potential mother wound. 10 of Cups. It's like I have these big hopes and dreams of what family should feel like and what family should look like, but my mother wound held that back from me. It goes to the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, the abandonment, I feel like I'm left alone with it type feeling. Show me how that impacted him. Lack of change, lack of clarity, lack of peace, lack of stability, lack of relationships. It feels like that really determined everything that followed. I'm at war with my own the patterning here. And I'm going to lay down one card from each of these decks as I say this. The patterning here feels to stem from the psychological programming of if I show anyone my mind, they are going to abandon me. So I need to do whatever it takes to silence my mind by going with the thoughts that cause me to be angry at the world because I feel like no one will ever be on my side to go to battle against my own mind with me. The wound of the invisible thread, deep connections felt but unspoken. This wound arises when you sense a powerful bond with someone or something, but it's never acknowledged, returned, or given space to grow. You feel the connection in your bones, yet it remains intangible or one-sided. It can leave you longing, questioning your intuition, or grieving something that never fully formed. That feels to be his relationship with his mother. That then was mirrored into every other relationship that he had with every other person. Solar plexus chakra since childhood. This is a childhood wound manifest. Will show up as low self-esteem, lack of confidence, or difficulty making decisions, leaving you feeling powerless or stuck. It may manifest as procrastination, fear of failure, or struggles with setting boundaries and asserting yourself. His response to the solar plexus wound was to overcompensate, overdo the self-esteem. I'm greater than everyone. These people are just pawns in my healing. In me healing is me getting revenge on the mother who couldn't hold space for my mind with me. So I'm going to outsmart everyone else. My mother couldn't hold space for my mind, so watch me do these horrific things that everyone wants to solve but can't. All because he felt like that's what would allow him to heal this childhood wound of feeling like I'm connected to my mother. She has the same mind as me, so if anyone was going to understand me, it's her, and she doesn't want to. So I'm making that everybody else's problem, and I'm going to make it so they can never figure it out. Ace of Swords in reverse. I'm going to make it so they can never figure it out, because that's how he felt like he could heal this wound. This mother abandoned me at the gate of my own mind, and the trauma that caused turned me into the monster I became. That seems to be the original wound. Now we're going to go to part 2. Part 2 is the silent contract. What belief formed in response to this? What belief formed in response to this? Oh, yeah. I mean, I need to defend against any potential sabotage of my own mind by burying that childhood wound, by overcompensating for it. Should leave these out so I can look at them. For overcompensating for it. You may feel powerless or stuck. It may manifest as procrastination. So I overcompensate for procrastination. That is that impulsiveness that came out in the beginning. The impulsiveness is the overcompensation for the procrastination that I would feel if I was allowing myself to feel this wound, because it would cause me to have to sit with it and think about, you know, before I move forward, what do I need to face? And I can't do that because I'm at war with my own mind. So, what then was the belief that formed in response to this that aligns with what he ended up doing? Death is the ultimate sacrifice. Five of Pentacles in reverse. There's nothing more I can take from you but your life. And Knight of Pentacles and Knight of Wands facing one another head on. This is like my way to ground myself. Like, I need to take from other people what I feel like was taken from me by that original mother wound, which it almost feels like from his own perspective, he would describe himself as like dying alive. Like, I was always kept so hidden in the shadows because there was this silent contract that was formed in response to that original wound that says, I can't show the world my mind. It's not safe. The one person who could have or should have accepted me because they have the same mind as me, my mother, shunned me or wouldn't pay attention to me or whatever it was, right? So it feels like the silent contract that formed in response to it was like, because the mind was the focus here and because the mind was like the study for him here, it's like he needed to try and understand how his mother could not care, or like he needed to embody the feeling of her, what her abandonment to him felt like. So when he's doing the ultimate act of taking someone's life, they're looking at this person that they don't know, like, what the heck? Like, why is this person that shouldn't be doing this to me? It replicates that broken bond with the mother. Why is this person that should be loving me not? The devil. Oh wow. So, hmm. So I guess I'd say I feel like there's some truth to that. Like, not that it's the mother's fault, but I don't feel like this was a wound that formed out of nowhere. I do feel like this was a wound formed because that was the way that he was made to feel, especially with the devil coming out there. Show me the mother, him, and the relationship between. The mother, Queen of Cups, him, 10 of Cups in reverse, and the relationship between. Oh, avoidance. Okay, so I'm not evil towards you. I just avoid facing certain things, and that makes it so this lifelong wound forms that you can never quite escape. But Queen of Cups upright, this isn't like, and maybe there was some kind of abuse or something, I don't know, but this feels to be the wound forming from lack of care, lack of nurturing my mind, lack of making me feel like my emotions are safe here. And I'm just never able to get over it. And the silent contract that formed in response to this is, I need to understand it. I can never heal it until I understand it, and the way to understand it is by taking these lives and having myself be able to witness those final moments of this person being like, "Why are you doing this to me?" Hoping that I can understand how my mother would do this to me. It really feels like it goes back to that. Okay, part 3. The persona built to hide it. What face did he wear for the world? That I've put whatever happened between me and my mother behind me, that I'm committed to moving forward, that bygones be bygones, so to speak. I don't know why that quote comes to mind. I don't speak like that. Um Maybe even that this person turned to religion. Like, I had a bad experience. I went through some trauma and I found God. Like, this is quite literally the burden leading to a higher power. What else do we need to know about the persona? I communicate my mind in some way. I would say that this person had some kind of either hobby or job or something in which they were intellectually, I don't know, viewed as like respectable or commendable. The star is like a light that's leading the path. But with the moon and page of pentacles, there's also this feeling of questioning if this person did have a darker side. Maybe this person was very private, very secretive, very held back. Obviously, if they're doing these kind of things, they would probably want to be, right? Um, And I guess I would also say, what face did he wear for the world? That there are relationships, but not attachments. So maybe this is someone who never really got too close to people, but had a lot of people in like this revolving door in and out. Feels like something along those lines. Now we go into the secret shame. What truth did he bury about himself? What truth did he bury about himself? Oh dear. That everything he did was a manipulation tactic. I mean, I feel like this is someone who, I guess I'd say a lot of people wouldn't see them coming in this way. I have this definite shadow side, but I'm able to make it look externally like I learned from it or grew from it in ways that I haven't. And again, it's like there's these corners of the mind. What truth did he bury about himself that he never reconciled with what his mother did to his mind? He was always continuously at odds with himself over it. But on the outside, he was able to portray this King of Cups energy where people wouldn't have seen this coming. But, you know, the devil with temperance in reverse is like a double whammy. It's like, your darkness has overtaken even the light, right? Even the potential for hope, your darkness has overtaken it. And Three of Wands in reverse, like there's no change. There's no change in sight for the future. What truth did he bury about himself? This was all always the plan. Like there was a moment when he was young of, how can I understand what my mother has done to my mind? Oh, okay, I can if I do the ultimate theft of someone else's life and put them into a position where they are momentarily feeling something as similar as what I could explain to what I feel like my mother did to me in those moments. Was there a specific moment that, I keep looking at this other deck that I have right here because it has like different, like birthday party and like clues like that on it. Um Was there a certain time, event, or moment when he needed his mom the most, that she was not there for him, that caused his psyche to kind of fracture? I have 3 of pleasures in reverse, 3 of wands in reverse, queen of swords in reverse, the devil coming out again, the world, and 6 of pentacles in reverse. Yeah, 6 of pentacles in reverse would be the debt here. Um, it's interesting because I did a reading with this deck on TikTok the other day, and this was the first card that came out, and I went to go read what was on the thing, not even like thinking it was gonna be anything weird, right? And it says fart. New fart friendly formula is what it says on the can. Anyway, that makes me think of like an embarrassing moment, and 6 of pentacles in reverse, that debt was formed, right? I just did a podcast episode on Spotify about the debt contract that we make and how we will project that debt onto every experience and every relationship until the sacral is healed. This mother wound damaged his sacral wound, his sense of worth. Um, and it feels like if I'm talking moment that this happened with this can in reverse, it's like I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed, and my mother made me feel like my mind was the enemy. And with the devil, I was never able to break that contract. Tobacco in reverse, no unhealthy coping mechanisms worked. 3 of wands in reverse, it's the same card. It's the same card, just in a different deck. 3 of wands, 3 of pleasures. I was never able to get over it. It was a one-way street straight towards toxic behavior, the world, because I needed to understand. No matter what I did, I needed to try and find a way to understand why and how my mother could do that to me. And I feel like the taking of a life, like, he felt in this moment of severe embarrassment, severe humiliation, like, I feel like I'm about to give up, and my mother is not helping me. She's making me feel like my mind is the enemy. Boom, I spend the rest of my life needing to understand that and doing whatever it takes to do so. This reads like that to me. Part 5, the triggering moment. What reopened the original fracture? So that original fracture happened during childhood or young teenage years. I wouldn't put it anywhere past 12 years old. I feel like it was there. Maybe 13, probably younger. That moment that I just talked about, that split in the psyche. Um what reopened that original fracture, because obviously this was something that he did as an adult. What reopened that original fracture? Nothing. It never closed. The moon in reverse, it was never a shadow, it was always the focus. The tower in reverse, nothing happened that made this pop back up. 3 of pentacles, 9 of pentacles, my entire journey was to live out this fantasy of healing from this wound that for some reason I convinced myself the only way to heal from was gonna be to take someone's life. The devil in reverse now. King of Swords in reverse. My mind is the devil. The only way I can Page of Pentacles reprogram it is if I can understand why my mother did this and caused me to be this way. That's it. The original fracture didn't have to be reopened, it never closed. It was always the forefront. Show me the original fracture in the mind of Jack the Ripper at all times since it happened. 7 of Cups. It's all I can see. It's everywhere. It's in this situation. It's in that situation. It's causing this cloud that I can't, the black, quite literally the black cloud I can't get out from underneath of. And this cloud is typically whiter in the regular deck, but it's a little darker here because they change the backgrounds in these things. 8 of Wands, it's everywhere. It's everywhere I look. It's everything I see. It didn't need to be reopened. It never closed. Next part. The opportunity window. Why 1888? What made this possible? There's the mind card again. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. I need to make the ultimate sacrifice. Why 1888? It just feels like the time that his plan had come to play out. 9 of Cups in reverse. I'm waiting for something and it's not happening. And because it's not happening, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go forward with it. I'm just going to go forward with the plan. I'm balancing out inaction. I'm balancing out wanting something I need that I don't have. And I'm just taking action anyway. What? Something fell on the floor. 5 of Wands in reverse. High Priestess in reverse. So 5 of Wands in reverse was leading me in the direction of some kind of news that I couldn't fight against, like some kind of news that I had to accept and I didn't want to accept it. And then High Priestess in reverse is a secret. So I find out something. It's like I get the final answer on something and something sets me off. What do I get the final answer on? A very clear answer about what do I get the final answer on? Yeah, something I can. The Page of Wands in a little bit ago was defending my mind, or like I need to fight against my mind because I'm trained or in bed to see the mind as the enemy. 9 of Swords. Now that I know this not so fun fact, whatever it was that he came to find out, I can't escape the way it's making me feel. I need to make moves towards the ultimate sacrifice being what would help me understand what my mother has done to my mind. Okay, so let's do it this way. Jack the Ripper finds out what news somewhere between 1887 and 1888, and it sets off this spree. There's the same card that we just had. So the black cloud over my head, what's been following me all my life, my mother. Huh. My mother gets a fresh start. Okay, so my mother gets a fresh start. Is that my mother dies and I'm never going to have the. No. 10 of Pentacles, Hanged Man, 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, the Tower, all on their side. That's always, I always read it as a bridge between things, right? So, no, nothing catastrophic, not a painful ending, not a separation, not some kind of sacrifice, but some kind of questioning of my reality because my mom's doing okay. Would it be fair to say that he came to the realization that his mother was not going to get the karma and that it's like something happened where if I'm him, I feel like, oh, well, she's never going to pay for what she did to me, or she's never going to really understand some kind of conversation, interaction, event, something happening with the mother. I don't know, but it's like that moment. I'm like, okay, I need to do it because I need to understand this. And I lost any other opportunity to do that because of something with my mother. Empress, mother. Yes. Okay. Self. Okay, so in part 2, we are going to do the unfolding, which is the deconstructed mind. So part 1 was the constructed self, the put together self. Now that we know that, we're going to go into deconstructing the mind. We're going to look into the first high. We're going to look into how the loop formed. We're going to look into the ritualization, the myth he told himself, the escalation point, and the void beneath it all. After that, we're going to go into part 3, which is going to be putting all of this into AI. And you are going to watch as I conversate with AI about if the profile that the cards showed us matches the dynamics of Jack the Ripper and the case of him. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, all of this is alleged, my opinion, not facts. And I will see you soon for part 2 in this first 3-part series.